And with me today is not Michael Schur, who is
Sorry.
off doing television things. He will be back. Hopefully, we might try to do one for the end of the year, but we're also preparing our big baseball card ALS fundraiser that we will be doing throughout January and into February. So that's exciting. But we have somebody way better than Mike with us. We have Molly Knight with us to talk a little. Well, I don't know what we're going to talk about. We'll talk about a lot of stuff today. But Molly, welcome.
Hi, Joe. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's so good to see you. It's so we're gonna, look, we're just gonna put this up front because the podcast is always about nonsense. But we are in a moment right now where a lot of bad stuff's happening. A lot of very sad, bad things are going on in the world, and it's difficult. And the holidays anyway bring on a level of depression. So we're going to do joy. That's what we're going to do today. We're just going to do happy. Well, we're going to talk about the Mets, so that's not going to be entirely joyful for everybody. But we're gonna talk joyful stuff. We're gonna have some fun, right?
Yes.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I think the first thing that I want to say is that I'm just gonna blurt it
Just
out,
say it.
Molly.
Just say it.
I'm gonna
Just say it.
say it. Molly and I are going to do a new podcast in the new year. This is so exciting. It will be called The Joy of Baseball, and we are going to focus our attention on why it is that we love this game so much. We've got all sorts of super fun surprises coming. We're excited about this, right, Molly? It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I think Joe and I have both talked about this for a long time, and without even we've always just been aligned without even trying to influence the other person. And I think for me, it really cemented during the pandemic when we didn't have baseball.
Yeah.
We didn't have sports. Because for a minute it was like, well, who cares about sports? Who cares about baseball? And then it was
Right.
like, oh no, actually, this is what's keeping my mental health together. Like, for a lot of people, this is like what's holding us together are these silly little baseball games or basketball games or whatever people enjoy, And without it, it's really hard to deal with all the other stuff.
It really is. I mean,
Yeah.
we've always felt this way. I think we both write this way. I think we
Yes.
both think this way. Um, Obviously, when bad stuff happens in sports, we're there to talk about it. We're there to complain and whatever. But what we're really sports are joy. That's why we have them. That's the only reason to
Yeah.
have them.
Yeah.
If they didn't bring us joy in our lives, and by the way, when we use the word joy, we're talking about all of it. Joy can be heartbreak too. Like your team loses, that's not joyful. Um, but it is, right? Because it is thinking about something that is not life and death. It is not all of this other stuff. So anyway, we have got very exciting plans. We are putting it together right now. I think you guys are going to be I think it's going to be pretty cool. Pretty cool. So coming
Yeah.
in the new year, the joy of baseball with Molly and me, and we're going to have a blast. But we're not doing like the first version of that today because we're just talking baseball. But you know what? Today is Joy of Baseball too, and I'm going to start right away because we're doing this live. We've already gotten some comments. One from Dave that I want to start with, which
Oh boy.
is, how happy were you when Kyle Schwarber went back to the Phillies?
Oh my God, so happy. I
So
was
happy,
so
right?
happy. And people were, I sorry to bring up the Mets so fast because, here we are.
We're gonna have a
But
lot of Mets talk,
but
but
what I mean is you said it. The whole point of sports and baseball is joy and
yeah,
emotion and happiness and entertaining the fans and giving the people what they want. And the people wanted Schwarber to come back to Philly.
yes,
And like that's just, I know it's not, there's no like stat for that in the computer program
right,
of like what someone's worth. Like what is that worth to the like mom who gets to tell her daughter, like, who doesn't have to explain free agency to her 7-year-old daughter if
yeah.
Kyle Schwarber had signed somewhere else. Um it's just, yeah,
I
it's just great.
I've thought about this a lot. Okay, so just for my thinking, years ago, many, many years ago, 1998, which feels forever ago, or 97, the Chicago White Sox signed Albert Bell for a gigantic deal. They paid him an enormous amount of money. And I thought it felt like a different kind of deal to me in this way. Albert Bell was not there to bring in fans.
Yeah.
He was not there to be joyful. He was not there. He was there because he was a great hitter, right? And that's fine. And he could get all of the money in the world, but that's only one thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And if if somebody is not enhancing the clubhouse, is not enhancing the fan experience, is not, making the team uh better in like a larger sense, that's fine. But you don't have to pay them like that person is not as important to you as a Kyle Schwarber is to
Yes.
Philadelphia, where he is. Yes, he's what he finished second in the MVP. He's led the league in home runs like basically every year. He's awesome as a power hitter, but he's pure just happiness, right?
Yes. You watch him and you're like, I love this. I don't know anything about
Yes.
it. I love it. I love what's going on. He's this big dude. He swings so hard. He hits the ball so far. He kind of
Yeah.
trots around. All his teammates are obviously adore him.
Adore him.
And so you're like, oh, this guy's also a leader in the clubhouse too. Like that's interesting. Okay. So there's like no dings on. It's just yes, you have to have a guy like that on your team if you're serious about winning. And I think one of the reasons why this was the best World Series ever, we had two teams that were very good, but also very close
Yeah.
with players who were like Schwarber,
Yeah.
players
Yeah.
who give everything they have, and I don't
And
know.
seem to like each other and seem to the
Yeah.
fans like them. I actually was having this conversation with Linda Holmes, who's a
Yes.
gigantic Phillies fan.
She's our Phillies,
She's our
one of our
Phil.
one of
We
our
have
Phillies experts.
Ellen Adair is as well.
Ellen also, yeah.
We have a couple of big Phillies fans, but she has become this just
Yeah.
passionate, and because she's Linda Holmes, she really brings it with like in a literary way. Like she's
Yes.
not a fan like so many other fans. She sees it in a different way, which I love. And I asked her, how much would it hurt you if the Phillies lose Kyle Schwarber? And her first response was basically the response that you would expect, which is, oh, it would hurt, but I mean, look, that's what free agency is. If he has a better opportunity, blah, 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 blah. But then very quickly, she corrected course and said, it would break my heart because I love this guy. I love him. He has become a huge part of my life. I spend entire summers rooting for him.
Yes.
It will crush me if they lose him. And that to me is something that we don't I don't think we hold owners accountable for that
We
part of it.
we don't, and it frustrates me to no end. It's like with the Mets. Okay,
Yeah,
they're gonna go, and that's fine. They might be able to spend money to get, you know, 10% more production from these four guys than
maybe.
the I don't care. Like
Yeah,
I don't care because you can't like replicate the joy of getting to root for Pete Alonso his entire career or
right.
having Edwin Diaz and that trumpet song stay there.
Yeah,
Like I don't really care. I'm sorry. Like I know I'm supposed to be like, "Oh, well, Pete's eight they're Pete's getting older and what they got Soto and the DH and blah blah." I don't care. I
right.
really don't care. Sorry. You got Steve Cohen and his $25 billion and you lose Edwin Diaz over what, for like a $3 million over 3 years. Like there's just no like
Well,
if I was him, if I had been Edwin Diaz too, I'd be like, "Bye.
yeah.
You guys don't get it. The Dodgers do. I'm out." You know?
100%. I think it's one of those things where, and Alonso is the example, right? It is the example. They didn't even make him an offer.
It's just
Reportedly,
embarrassing.
they didn't even
It's
make him an offer.
embarrassing.
And look, I think there are Mets fans, I've heard from plenty of them, who have said, look, I'm sorry, he's not going to age well. This is the Mets escaped. They didn't have to spend this money on this guy. They're much better spending that money elsewhere, blah, blah, blah. even if that's true, which I don't know that it is, by the way, but even if that's true, it misses the point that I think we're trying to make, which
Yeah.
is what does it mean to an 8-year-old Mets fan who
Yes.
has been rooting, well, that now they're 15 or 14. They've been rooting for Pete Alonso. He's their favorite player. They've got 5 Pete Alonso jerseys in their closet. And now he's gone. Why? Because of money from one of the richest people on earth. That doesn't
It
sit
doesn't.
with me.
It doesn't make sense. And I had to, just as a, there is my niece is 7. I infected, she's infected with the baseball sickness.
Yes,
She was at both Freddie Freeman walk-off World Series homer games of
which is
game one of
awesome.
last year and then the 18 inning game, which she lasted 17 innings of that game too. And she just turned 7. So anyway, it
Incredible.
was amazing. But I explained to her, I showed her the trumpet song. She's all in on Edwin Diaz. She's changing her walk-up song like for softball to Narco, his music. And baby, he was on on the Mets and now he's coming to the Dodgers. And she's like, why?
Yeah.
Why did he leave the Mets? And I said, oh, because it's his right. He has a try explaining free agency to a
Right.
7-year-old. Then
Right.
okay, well, he did his commitment. He played for 3 years now, or whatever it was. Now he gets to go and get offers and pick and choose. And she goes, I said, he got his feelings hurt, and so he chose the Dodgers. I said, Mookie has 4 rings, Freddie has 3 rings. I'm naming all these guys. I said, Edwin doesn't have any rings. And then she looks at me and she goes, well, can Mookie just give him one of his rings? I said, "Oh, sweet. She's the sweetest kid." Because she felt bad. She felt bad for him and for the Mets fans. Like, well, maybe Mookie can give him one of his rings and he can stay on the Met. Like, it was just so sweet. I said, "No, honey, he wants to win it himself." And
Yeah.
so now but like, what, why would, she, in her mind, she's like, why? If
Yeah.
we love these players so much and they're so cool, she would have cried her head off
Yeah.
if he had been a Met and left. Awful.
Well, I think it's part of what the frustration so many people feel about baseball. Look, free agency is right? Like the players deserve to make as much money as
Yes.
they've earned, as much money as somebody's willing to pay them. That's all fair and good. When you have owners that treat this as a business and treat this as I need to make money every year. I need to make
Yeah.
money at all. Like I wrote this the other day and I really believe this. I think no owner should ever make any money on
Cool.
their teams.
You,
I I really do. Now look, when they sell their team, they should make as much money as they want. But my feeling is the privilege of getting to own a baseball team, like no, as I wrote, no owner makes any money on a yacht. No owner
right.
makes any money on a private jet. That's what this is. It's a luxury. It's a
Right.
luxury, and it makes them huge in their communities. It gives them unbelievable privileges to be at the very peak of sports. I mean, these guys
Yes.
get the World Series trophy. Their team wins the
Yes.
World Series. They're the first ones that
I
get to
mean,
hold the trophy. It's ridiculous. And
not to mention, yeah.
yeah, go
Not to
ahead.
mention so I'm sorry, but like say you own the Dodgers or the Mets or the Cubs or whatever, like all the network, like, and you have another business,
Oh,
all the networking opportunities.
yes.
I mean, what the hell? You have like the most important people in in your community, in your city, all wanting to be friends, all wanting to be friends with you, talk to you, hang out with you, work with you. Like,
How many
you can leverage
millions?
that
Yeah, how many
to
millions and millions and millions of dollars have these gotten in their other businesses because they
exactly,
own teams? So,
exactly,
my
exactly.
feeling is they should empty their wallets. Every single year, they should spend all that they make. The idea that
Yeah,
anybody makes
I mean,
any profit on baseball drives me insane. But
well, Joe.
that's where we are, and that's not gonna change. And there was a story, by the way, I wanna ask you about. Eno Saris wrote a story in The Athletic the other day, um,
Oh
that
boy,
basically
I saw it.
baseball is now going to make it so that you cannot put extra technology in your minor league. Basically, the high the teams willing to spend money have been putting these super cameras and tracking systems in their minor leagues so they can get the best information. And other owners that don't want to spend that money haven't.
Right.
And baseball is now outlawing that. They're like everybody should get the same information, which to
Yeah.
me is like there are multiple reasons I find that infuriating. One being that this is a clear signal that the small market owners have the ear of everybody and that these are the guys that are going to lead us down this path to destruction with the salary cap chase and everything else. But the
Yeah.
second thing is that is the most anti-competitive thing I've ever heard. Like they all
Yeah.
deserve the same. Why not make it so that all of them have to have the exact, they should have a salary cap on front offices. You're not allowed to spend more
Well,
money on front.
that's
It's
kind of what this is. I mean,
yeah,
because they're trying to. I mean, people will rip on the Dodgers or whatever for buying they buy all the players. It's like they have the number one farm system, and
absolutely
they never pick at the front of the draft. The last time they picked in the top 10 was Clayton Kershaw in 2006, guys.
crazy.
So how the hell do you build the number one farm system, right? Well, you spend all this time and money on developing players, and that includes, nutrition, sleep, all this stuff with cameras and figuring out like the best, helping pitchers repeat their deliveries and figuring, and yes, some of it has gone way too far because obviously there's a problem with pitcher injuries and
Oh yeah, of
whatnot.
course, of course.
But the idea is that it's not just yes, it makes me so mad because the minor leagues have already been gutted. But these teams that spend the money to develop these guys are now, that's like unfair. Like they're spending pennies. I mean, they're not, any team can afford to do it. It's not the Shohei Ohtani
100%.
700 million contract. It's literally like upgrading to like tender greens from peanut butter and jelly. You know what I
Right,
mean? Like when
right.
you're feeding your top prospects, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not, it's just it's maddening.
Well,
Yes.
it is. It's a bad thing, and I mean, the joke has been made a million times about how these billionaires hate socialism except for when they're sports owners and they suddenly love it.
Yeah.
This is true socialism. Literally, you
Yeah.
are not allowed to have anything more than it's nonsense, but
Yeah.
I think it's a bad, bad, bad
It's
signal, first of all,
yeah.
to where baseball is heading. But it's also like I don't. I, here's the thing. I have a very specific argument that I would make anytime an owner cries poverty. And my specific argument would be get richer. That's it. That's like, look, if you decided to join this billionaire club, if you can't afford it, get out. There are other
Yeah.
billionaires that'll pay you to get it that
Yeah.
have more money than you. So just get
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
This idea that we're supposed to cater to the guy in Pittsburgh because he doesn't want to spend any money is a joke. It's a
Yeah.
joke.
And
And
yeah.
yeah, and the idea, by the way, this is a separate thing, okay? So let's say that Pittsburgh will never be able to afford a Shohei Ohtani because they'll never have somebody rich enough to do it.
Um,
They'll never make enough money in it, whatever argument you want to make. Okay, great. You're a salary cap person, that's fine. Make that argument. But here's my thought. Those people should be spending way more on the minor leagues than anybody
Yes.
else because
Yes.
that's where you can actually get bang for your buck.
And
And
that's what
instead they're saying, no, you don't have to spend anything because you're going to get the same information as everybody else.
and that's what the Rays back in the day, that's what they used to do. I mean, that's before that's how small market teams were able to compete, was to use the analytics and to use different training methods, different
Right.
ideas, and that didn't cost, as much as going out and buying a Shohei Ohtani or a Juan Soto, right? You could find a Ben Zobrist.
Yeah.
You could find those guys, right? And develop them up and they were wonderful, wonderful players. I don't know why the man in Pittsburgh is holding all of us hostage.
It's crazy.
And bringing down the quality of play. Owning a baseball team is not a right, it is a privilege.
Yeah.
You are a steward of a public good.
That's right.
You are not, you are a member of a country club, so you had to be voted in, and you should be kicked out if you are not, if you are dragging the profits down, the quality down, all of it down.
Yeah.
You should be gone.
100%. And if you're in that country club and it is one of the most exclusive clubs on earth, right? And you're in this country club and you're constantly complaining that the fees are too high, get out. You
Yeah.
can't afford to
You
be
can't afford
here.
it. You can't afford
Yeah.
it. It's like what
Sorry.
my grandfather always said, don't go to if you go to a restaurant and you're checking out the prices, you can't afford it. He's like, just don't
Exactly.
he'd be like, don't want, go in there and order what you want. And if you're stressed about how much it costs, you just stay home,
Stay home.
like,
Don't go to that restaurant.
but
That's market price. Baseball
yes.
is market price. All
Yes.
right. What is the market price on lobster today? You know what? If you have to ask, you can't afford it. And
Exactly.
that's so
Exactly.
you're right. And the other thing that you said that you should expand on, because I agree with this 100%. The guy in Pittsburgh specifically, there are others that are just like him, but
Yeah.
that guy specifically is holding the game hostage. And look, I get fans are supposed to hate the Dodgers. They're the best.
Sure.
They're supposed to. Every
Yeah.
other fan should hate the
It's
Dodgers.
and it's fun. It's fun to have a
It's
villain, a
fun
big bad.
and by the way, it's I think it's great for the game to have
It
a
is.
villain. I
It
really do.
is.
That said, baseball itself should not hate the Dodgers. Baseball
No.
itself should celebrate the like. Does the NFL ever like? Oh, the Chiefs have gotten too good, so we're
Right,
gonna
right.
like
Or
bash
The Tom
or the
Brady
Patriots.
Patriots.
No, that your sport is driven by the Dodgers being willing to do anything and everything in their power to win. That's what's driving your sport. And the self-loathing that baseball has for itself is just that's why we're
Well,
doing the Joy of Baseball podcast, right?
I
It's
mean,
like, yeah.
and the Dodgers are committed have been the biggest they're committed to expanding the game in Japan
Yeah.
and that is baseball is looking at growth opportunities, and their two big growth opportunities right now are betting
Yep.
and Japan, the market of Japan that hasn't totally been saturated yet because Japanese people. I was over there, and Joe did not go.
I was
Everyone,
supposed to go. I did
yeah.
not get to go. That's right.
So I was over there in Tokyo, and it's man, woman, and child. They're all into it. But there are things about the Japanese culture that they don't wear jerseys around town. They only wear jerseys when they're at games. So they don't to them there that's like not a thing that they fully it's not like a thing that they do yet.
Yeah, it's
And
disconnected.
that's
Yeah.
exactly. And so then there's like this whole market. So they're trying to show those people that it's actually cool to do that. You
Yeah.
can pick out a jersey of a player you like and you could wear it on a random Wednesday and you could dress it up. You could have fashionable, Air Jordans or whatever and jeans. It doesn't have to be just like that you're whatever. And that's like a way more wholesome revenue stream than the gambling, right?
Oh,
So
of
like,
course.
I mean, they're looking at that, and the Dodgers are at the forefront of that. And so, and we just had the best World Series ever because of the Dodgers and the Blue Jays.
Absolutely. No,
So
I like I say, as a fan of any other team but the Dodgers. So we're
yeah,
uh friend of the podcast, Justin Halpert, is a big Padres fan. He hates the Dodgers with the heat of a
yeah,
thousand suns. He just hates you know what? He should hate the Dodgers. He's a
yeah,
Padres fan. The Dodgers have been the bane of his existence pretty much his whole life.
yeah,
And he should hate the Dodgers. That's right. That's fair. But the sport itself, allowing small market teams to say that the Dodgers are the villains,
yeah,
not them, and for there be there are more of them. There are more of these small market owners than there are big market owners that are willing to spend what is what they have. It's none of these guys are going to go broke. This idea that like, oh, they're spending too much money. They're not spending even
also,
any amount of money that's close to too much.
fans also need it's just watching people cape for billionaires is just so mind-boggling
So
to me.
mind-boggling.
It's like it's not your money. What are you talking about? You're like, well, Pete, it was pretty expensive. I'm like, excuse me, the owner's worth $25 billion. Like,
Yeah,
what are you
yeah.
talking about? He just sold a golden toilet worth 19 million or whatever. Like, where are we? It just stop caping for billionaires,
It's
everyone. Like,
it's off.
start
Well,
demanding that they spend money on your favorite players.
let's talk more about that with Alonso specifically, because
Yeah.
here's my thinking, and this is honestly, the people that are defending the Mets, and includes a lot of Mets fans, because they are like, look, the only thing that matters is winning, which I don't agree with, by the
I
way.
don't either.
It's
I don't
not. The
either.
only one team wins. Like that's the other 29 teams matter. And and the other 28 that don't get to the World Series matter. So I don't believe that. But even if you do believe that, okay, you're gold. The only thing that matters for you is the the effort to win, whatever. Um, they're worse without Pete Alonso. They're worse. Maybe
Yes.
maybe they won't be worse in 3 years. They're worse right now without Pete Alonso.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh well, we'll bring in like whoever. Okay, maybe you will, maybe you won't, but you're worse without Pete Alonso. And you talk about like high, basically covering for billionaires. Let's say Pete Alonso's good one more year, and let's say that he then goes into the Albert Pujols tank. Let's just say that happens. So what? It's his money. It's
Yeah.
your ticket prices aren't going down. Like
Right.
nothing. You're not getting any advantage of him not spending that money. It's his money.
Yeah, and it also the money that Pete got is a lot, but it's not Juan Soto money. So
No,
it is not a contract that is going to screw up your team.
no,
Um,
not
es-
even close.
Especially if you're on the Mets. But I mean, like, it is not like when I'm okay, like, so Kyle Tucker, they're projecting for him that he might get more than 400 million. Okay.
Right.
If I'm giving out a contract that large to anyone, I am doing like a full background check on
Yep.
their
Yep.
personality, their health, their personal life, talking to their former teammates. Like, I just want to make sure that they're like a really solid human being.
Of
Okay.
course.
Because that's the kind of thing that screws up your franchise. Like
Yeah.
what the Angels did with Rendon, like that screwed them up,
Yep.
and we laugh at the Angels a lot, but I mean, that was a lot of money that was sunk every year.
But by the way, total self-inflicted wound. It
Of
wasn't like
course.
it wasn't like people didn't know that. I mean,
It
obviously he
wasn't
got hurt. I mean, some of that is not fair to blame anybody.
sure.
But everybody knew Anthony Rendon's like motivation was pretty low. He
Right.
doesn't he's never hidden the fact he doesn't love the game. I don't know anything about Kyle Tucker. Kyle Tucker has managed to in a very good career stay completely obscured from the public
Yeah.
eye, right?
It
So I
worries
don't know anything about him, but I would want to know. And that, by the way, leads to the other side of it. And you've had the same thing. Many, many GMs tell you when you make a trade, the most important thing is not the other guy's player, it's your own. Because
Yeah.
if you don't know every single thing about your own player, then you're going to make a bad trade.
Yes.
You're going to trade away a quality person. You're going to trade away somebody who is rapidly improving and is about to like make a breakthrough, so on and so on and so on and so on. The Mets know more about Pete Alonso than anybody else,
Of
right?
course. Of
So
course.
so you know if they found something to dislike about Pete Alonso, they would know it and they wouldn't make that public. But I don't believe that's true. I
But
think they know exactly what a good guy Pete Alonso is.
maybe they don't like him. I mean, maybe
But
there's something, but
why?
I'm saying they didn't even make him an offer.
I know.
So
And they didn't want him last year, honestly.
they didn't want him. So
No.
maybe they don't like him for whatever. We don't know why. I mean, it could just be I mean, it could be that they don't think he's gonna produce. It's gonna
Right.
age
It might
well.
be
It could
something
be that
personal. I don't know. We
who
don't
knows.
know. But
But
they
they
didn't
they
want
told their
him.
fans, we don't like. We know he's a fan favorite, but we don't like him. So bye. That's
Yeah.
basically like what happened. We don't
Yeah.
either like him as a person or a player or both or whatever. We didn't even make him an offer, and that's just like that's hurtful. Like the Angels didn't make an offer to Otani either. Like, that's hurtful.
It is hurtful.
Like what the hell are you doing if you're a fan of this team and you invest all your time and you like follow these players on Instagram and you're obsessed, you're involved and emotionally attached to their dogs, like
Right.
and you're rooting for them and all that, and then your owner is just like, we don't, yeah, drop dead, we don't care. I mean, I hate it.
I do too. I do too. I mean, look, we've seen Boston is never ever going to forgive the Red Sox for trading away Mookie
No.
Betts, right? Nor should they, by the way. But at the time, one of the arguments that people made constantly was, well, he wasn't going to sign anyway. He was, they had to get something for him because he wasn't going to sign anyway, which I think is the biggest cop out on earth. What do you mean he wasn't going to? First of all, he denied that. But even if he
Well,
hadn't denied that,
he
you've got to do everything in your power to keep Mookie Betts there. You need to pay him more money than anybody else is willing to pay him.
Yes, and I
But
also think that that's BS. Well, that's some of that's BS because he signed an extension with the Dodgers right away. He did not go to free agency.
100%.
So, like, if he was, because there are some guys, and a lot of them tend to be Boris clients who, believe in going to free agency. That
Right.
that's the way for them to get to find out truly how much they're worth
Right.
and to go do that. And God bless, we're all, this is a capitalist society, and we
Sure.
believe in in that whatever
But
the market can
I
pay.
think
But
you have to I think if you're an owner with basically unlimited funds, which is what these guys have, you owe
yes,
it to your fans, to your team to like, hey, you can't make them stay. I think about the Nationals and Bryce Harper all the time. The Nationals, maybe if they'd offered more money than the Phillies, might not have kept Bryce Harper. I don't know. But they didn't offer more money than the Phillies, did they?
yeah,
And so we'll never know. And Bryce Harper has said he wanted to stay. And look, they caught a huge break because they caught fire the very next year, won the World
sure,
Series before
sure,
going into the tank, right?
yeah,
But and people, I've heard people say like, "Oh, well, you know what? It was fine because they won the World Series." You know what? They would have won the World Series with Bryce Harper too, probably.
yeah, and
And you would have Bryce Harper for his
yeah,
entire career, which is what owners owe the fans.
yeah,
Every effort. And if they offer Bryce Harper the moon and he says, "Nope, I'm still leaving. I'm a Boris client. I'm still leaving." Hey, you can look your fans in the face and say, "We tried. We tried everything we could." I mean, he has that right. We're sorry to see him go. We love him. We tried to keep him here.
yeah.
But they don't. They don't do that. I mean, the Angels, there was never been an easier ask of a team than the Angels offering Shohei $500 million, right? Because that wouldn't have been enough. They wouldn't have kept him, but they'd be able to say, we offered him as much as we have. Like that's as high as we
Yeah.
can go. It would be a
And
lie, but it would be like that's as high as we can go. Instead, they didn't even make him an offer. They were like,
and
"Ah, he's gone. There's nothing we can do."
yeah, and the excuse is the Rendon contract. It's like, okay, so then you're making it worse. You're
Yeah,
compounding the problem because so Otani's different than any other player for a lot of reasons, but one of the biggest reasons, besides him being a two-way player, is the amount of money you can make off of him
that's
just through
right.
advertisements and sponsorships. I mean, the Dodgers, people are just Japanese companies are like, take our money to put our little sign up on your stadium. Like everything, tires, noodles, shoes, watches, Gatorade, whatever. I mean, like it's free money.
Yeah,
And when they go to visiting towns or visiting cities, they call up the Cleveland Guardians or whoever and say, "Oh, we'll put our little ad back there," and they get money for that day. I mean,
yes,
his contract pays for itself. I mean, I
more than pays for
more
itself.
than pays for itself.
Yeah,
That's why I'm kind of like Juan Soto's not doing that. The Mets can't like companies aren't calling up specifically to put their ads in there because of like he's a great player. He's a Hall of Fame player, but it's different.
it is different. There's never another Shohei, but that was the point I was trying to make with Albert
Yeah.
Bell. You couldn't. There was no extra money to be
Yeah.
made because Albert Bell was on your team.
Right.
There probably is a small amount of money the Mets can make having Juan Soto on the team, just because he's so good.
Sure.
You
Yeah.
could probably figure out some. But Shohei is his own thing. Like he's his
Yeah.
own. He's his
I mean,
own.
they can specifically with the Mets. It's like okay, well maybe we got maybe having Soto here versus not gives us like 500 more fans a game or something.
Right,
But they
or
don't.
it gives US Bank a reason to
Sure.
connect with us or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah.
But with the Dodgers, they can actually like they have like a ledger of how much money they're getting, from Japan, specifically, and they know exactly like what he was worth. And the fact that they had the wherewithal to do all those calculations, them, the Giants, the Blue Jays, whoever, maybe the Cubs, to do those calculations and find out, oh God, this is actually like a deal.
Yeah. Oh
And then
yeah,
other
there's
teams were like, "Oh, we can't afford that." It's like, "Well, what do you mean you can't afford it? Have you looked into how much income he would generate?" I
they
mean,
they
then
could have given him $1 billion deal. They really could have.
yeah,
They could have
yeah,
they could have given him any amount of money and he was going to pay for himself. Plus he pushed all of the payments off until the
oh
future
god. I mean,
anyway,
it
so
just yes, the idea that the Angels, I mean, to me, like I think, yeah, the two most galling things I've seen were in the last 10 years. the Red Sox trading Mookie Betts and the Angels not trading Otani for boatload of prospects like they could have to the Padres, holding on to him and then not making him an offer.
It's
It's just
absurd.
like
It's
you're handed a golden ticket. Like
yeah,
you win the lottery, right?
yeah,
When you
yeah.
draft a guy like Mookie Betts, or when you get Shohei Otani to sign with you on a rookie contract, like you have won the lottery. Like, what are you doing? Like, bro, like I just
No, they're
can't.
the kind of team that wins the lottery and complains about the taxes. That's basically what they are. So, all right. So, what else are you
Okay.
seeing? What else is going on in baseball that's got you? It's been a weird off season in that it's like there's stuff going on. There've been like leaking, a little bit of news
Yeah.
here and there, but it's kind of a pretty weak free agent class in general. What are you seeing?
I think again, it's crazy that we're like, oh, there's going to be for sure. You and I talk like there's for sure going to be a lockout next year. When these guys are getting the free agent market seems to be pretty robust and
Yes,
healthy.
it
I mean,
does. Yes,
these guys are getting paid. Hassan Kim just signed a 1 year deal for
$20
$20 million, which is
million
great.
dollars. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting, guys. Like, okay, so you're gonna tell us you're all broke and you can do that. I mean, no, Hassan is, when he's right, especially defensively,
Good
all the
defensive
things,
player. Yeah, yeah.
all of the things in his positional eligibility, and I get it, but like, I don't really buy that you're broke if you got 20 million for
They're not
Hassan
broke.
Kim.
The whole thing is laughable.
Yeah,
It's absolutely laughable. But
and
uh but it's been I haven't I mean look, the Dodgers made really the biggest splash getting Edwin Diaz, I
yeah,
think. Obviously the Mets seem to be I don't know what they're hoping for.
I
This is
mean,
not the free agent class that you get rich on, I don't think. I mean, maybe they're going to go all in on getting one guy, but I mean, it's like it's a very odd thing. Um and I don't know, maybe this is just an off season where it seems like it's like last off season felt monumental in a lot of ways.
yeah,
2 off seasons ago obviously felt really
right,
monumental.
right.
Um this one feels like there's a lot of shuffling of pieces to me.
Yeah, and it also like there have been reports of different clubhouse issues and teams getting kind of like the Rangers and Mets trade kind of felt like, are we moving some pieces around
Yeah.
because our clubhouses are unhappy places. um I don't know. Maybe yeah, it seems it does seem weird, and I don't know who's going to sign Kyle Tucker, and that is a really big piece on this board right now. And I don't know if the Yankees and the Mets are both getting crushed right now, in the
Yes.
media, because they haven't done anything really. And is he going to go there, or where's Alex Bregman going to go? Where's Cody Bellinger going to go?
Yeah.
That's what I'm waiting on. I'm waiting to see. I guess for me, maybe Bregman's the more interesting player because he was so good on the Red Sox this year. Um, are the Mets gonna sign? I mean, I don't know who that's those are the three guys I'm locked in on right
Yeah,
now.
let's focus on Tucker for a second
Sure.
because the teams that are most motivated to spend that kind of money are exactly the Mets and Yankees.
Right.
And he doesn't fit either team. They both have kind of good right fielders right now.
Yeah.
Particularly with the Yankees, there are no DH spots available. I mean, look, you can move him to left or whatever. You don't want to put Judge back in center, but you can move him to left. Um, but that's not ideal. It's not ideal to
No.
spend the huge amount of money and not even have the guy play a natural position. Um, so it feels weird. Plus, like I said, the thing about him, I don't I don't get it. Like he's such a good player, but he's so quiet and he's
Yeah.
so in the background. And that's to his I mean, that's admirable that he
Sure.
has stayed out of the spotlight, but there's like not a vibe about him,
I
you
I don't
know?
have a feel for him,
Right.
which actually would make me scared. Not that he's some kind of horrible clubhouse terrorist or anything. I think
No.
we would know if that
No,
was
I
the
don't
thing. But
I think he's exactly what you think he
sure.
is, which is just kind of a boring guy.
Yeah, and that's fine, but I don't I I don't have a feel for him, so I don't know how he would fit on my team,
Right?
That's makes me kind of like, I mean,
How do you think he fit in on the Cubs? I mean, it was just kind of interesting. He had he was really good, and then but at no point was he the focal point of that team, even when he was really hitting.
at the start of the season, he was. I mean, I saw him in Japan and was just, this guy
Yeah,
is so good. And he seemed
I
really
know,
good,
but
but
pretty
then
PCA just took over that
PCA
spot
was. I
right
mean,
away. Almost,
PCA is electric. Wears his
yeah,
heart in his sleeve. I mean, Joe. Everybody who's ever seen a Cubs game with him playing in it knows who that guy
that's
is.
right.
We all know who he is, and we know that he plays the game with his pants on fire
Right.
and loves it, lives for it. Wants to be dirty, has the sickness. He has a sickness like Joe and I, and like anybody
Yes.
listening to this podcast, lives and breathes it.
Yeah.
So, I'm comfortable giving a guy like that a ton of money.
Right. Right.
Just
Well, I mean,
because
I think you felt that way even about Soto, even though Soto is, not exactly the same, but there was a vibe
I
about
was
Soto, right?
I'd be scared to give him money. I would not be scared to give Francisco Lindor money. Like
Yes.
I want
Right. Right.
I don't know what I want. I want passion and fire and someone that you could tell like is obsessed with this. And it's going to be the first one to the like Mookie Betts, the first one out there doing drills over and over again,
That's
ball
what I
off the wall,
want.
whatever. That's what I want. If I'm
That's
giving you $400 million or whatever,
I
that's what
that's
I
what I
want.
want. I want somebody who is present all the time in the fans'
Yeah.
minds, in his teammates' minds. I think Kyle Tucker, and look, you know what? Mike Trout's kind of like this too.
Yeah.
He likes to blend in. He likes to blend into the world. And
Yeah.
look, I couldn't love Mike Trout more. I think Mike Trout is just a wonder and admirable in all ways. I I don't know that giving him the money was the right call. I just it's look, it's not fair because
Uh,
the Angels just so botched
yeah.
it up, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But is Bryce Harper like more in your mind than Mike Trout?
Yes.
Yes, he
Yes.
is. He just is.
And you don't have to have, just so we're clear, like Mookie Betts is not, he's not getting into teammates' faces and
No,
coaching them up
no.
and calling team meetings and being rah rah. I'm not saying like you have to have a guy like that, right? But you have to have a guy who just like wants it as badly or more than anyone else and will do whatever. And it's just crazy to me. Like using Mookie as an example, which we probably shouldn't because he's a unicorn as well.
He's a
Like
unicorn, but I
switching.
think what you're saying about him is right in the sense
Yeah.
of, yeah, he's the last guy. He's the last guy out there taking drills, taking
Yes.
ground balls as a shortstop. He's the,
Yes. What do you
he's
need me to do? What do you need?
right.
I got my money. I'm secure, and even he struggles with self-confidence, which is crazy to me.
Crazy.
But baseball is a brutal game of failure, so I get it. It would make anyone crazy. But like just the idea of like he's just being like, where do you want me to play? Do you want me at short? Do you want me at second? Do you need me in right field? Whatever. And then
Yeah.
also like his ability, and I think I might ask him about this because it's such a great quality as a human being to have. Like he's learning guitar right now, the ability to like be a beginner at something
Yeah.
and to be awkward and not have it be great at first, the humility that takes, right? Because all of us, we hate picking up new things because you suck at it for a while.
Yeah.
It's so humbling and frustrating. So Mookie goes to short and he's like not as good as he was in the outfield, and he just kept on working at it, and now this year he was just as good as anyone at shortstop.
It was great.
And I understand he's a freak, like, but it takes a level of humility and team first and selflessness to even want to even like make yourself vulnerable to looking dumb, right? Like to be able to do that.
Definitely. There's nobody like him in that way.
Yeah.
But you talked about Kyle Tucker, and we don't want to be unfair to Kyle Tucker. Kyle
No,
Tucker might have all of those things. We just don't know.
we don't know. That's
But
the
what
thing.
about the other guys? Because
Yeah.
Bregman is that guy.
Yes, he
Bregman
is.
is the guy who was like everybody in the clubhouse loved, who would like go to the young people, young players, and kind of work
Yes.
with them. He obviously was producing before he got hurt. He's got that leadership quality that you want.
Yes.
And again, I don't know how he'll age. I don't know what, all of those other things, but I look at Kyle Tucker, I look at Cody Bellinger. I don't know. I don't know. Like
I
both of those guys seem blend in the background guys to me, and Bregman does not.
So I'd rather, because of that, I'd rather give Bellinger like a third of what a third of what Tucker is. The vibe is that Tucker's going to get over 400 million, and Belly might get like 170 or
Right.
whatever. I mean, it's a shorter deal, but you know what I mean. I'd rather, I I guess I'd rather go with Bellinger there. I don't know
Ooh,
because
interesting. But
I don't know.
you think Tucker's going to be more productive than Bellinger?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. But I don't know.
Well, what do you
I,
think of
I
Bellinger
guess
as like?
I guess I'm casting a movie and it's like, who's going to be the lead? Who's going to be the supporting? And I feel like I'd rather have Belly as a supporting than Tucker as the lead. I don't know. Because then I
Well,
could have, if I had Kyle Schwarber as the lead, Bryce Harper as the lead, and Tucker as supporting, right? Like that's what I'm telling you. He seems more like a
I
supporting.
like this.
He seems more like a best supporting actor and best. I mean, I'm talking best. Like this is not. This is like uh, Christian Bale, right?
Yeah.
In a supporting role.
No,
This that's
I like this casting.
that's what we're. This is the first time I've ever thought of it. We are building a team. We are casting
All right,
a
so
team.
this is going to be a new feature of our podcast. Our new
Yeah.
podcast. We're going to have like casting a team segment in our podcast.
Yeah, because you
Um,
need to have, and if they don't get along, you're screwed. Because the Mets apparently have a huge problem in their clubhouse right now, allegedly, according to whatever. What do you do there? You got to somehow fix it, right? I mean, I don't know. I think
it's
that's
very
important.
odd. Yeah, no, I think it's so. You covered Belly pretty
Yeah,
closely. What do you think of him as a clubhouse guy?
easy. I mean, it was tough because
He was young when
he was
you
young,
know,
and
yeah.
also he got hurt. He went from being like the MVP, and then he tore his shoulder celebrating the
Hasn't been the same. Yeah,
He's celebrating the pennant clinching homer in 2020, and then he jumped into somebody, I forget who it was, and basically
awful.
tore everything. And so it was rough because he wasn't the same player. I have been so impressed with his resilience though to rebuild himself
Yeah,
and to prove that he's good. I think um, he's very good at just kind of see ball hit ball and not how do I put this? I think he's an unproblematic kind of happy go lucky dude, kind of simple guy,
I like that. I like
and
that.
I don't think he's going to cause any problems anywhere he goes because he's not going to be the main.
Well, I like the idea of casting a team, but like
We're casting
as
a
a
team.
yeah, casting.
He is an awesome
Well,
supporting
that's the thing. You
piece.
have a
Awesome.
strong. You have Christian Bale as your lead. You have a
Right.
strong lead. You have
Right.
Jennifer Lawrence as your lead.
Right.
You can go ahead and go with like a
Yes.
David Strathairn as your
Yes.
supporting, right? Like
Yes.
you can go with
Yes.
somebody who's like, this person is great. They're not going to have to carry the whole thing.
When I say lead, I mean like if this person gets hurt or if there's some kind of clubhouse issue or whatever, the team is screwed. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
So like that's what I mean when I say lead. Like this is the heart and soul of it. This is the Mike Trout of it,
yeah.
or the Anthony Rendon. I mean, he was given leading man
He
money,
was given leading man money, and boy, there that. But of course, they already had a leading man, so they were trying to create like some sort of Hollywood blockbuster with
There were
multiple leads
yes, yes.
that didn't really
We're
work.
gonna have a lot of fun with
This is gonna be so fun. All
it's
right,
gonna be
we have two questions from our
okay.
public chat that we'll get to before going to one last meaningless thing. Um, it looks like Grace. I think you'll handle this one.
Okay.
The WBC is coming up. She'd like us
Oh
to talk about the
yeah.
WBC, and she wants to know what you specifically think about the Dodgers not letting Roki pitch in the WBC.
I hate it.
Hate it, right?
Guys, I'm like I've become radicalized, I think, into just joy and maximum fun for fans.
Yes.
So I feel like I am now completely against removing pitchers from no hitters, unless they ask out because they're hurt, right?
Right.
Um, I'm against being not doing. I want them all in the WBC. What are we doing? What are we saving them for?
What are we saving them for?
Who
It's exactly
cares?
right.
Plus, the Dodgers just like they just showed you can. I mean, they could have let Yamamoto and if he wants and Shohei and Roki pitch in the WBC. give them a couple months off,
Yeah.
pitching, and you could still win the World Series. Like, what are we doing, guys? Like, what? The whole point is to create these moments, and the best moment we had before this World Series was Shohei Ohtani striking out Mike Trout to win the
Absolutely.
WBC in 2023.
Yes.
I was like, oh, actually, it turns out baseball is still incredibly awesome.
Yes.
We just can't get out of our own way. We need the biggest stars on the biggest stages. And I'm sorry, but the WBC is awesome and a huge stage. And I'm annoyed. I'm really annoyed by
I
that.
agree. I agree. Well, there are multiple things that you said there that I just could not agree with more. That I just love that you said it because I think it's right. The idea of sports is moments. That's what it is. That's why it has always frustrated me
Yeah.
when people pull like when the Cardinals pulled Matt Carpenter when he had 3 home runs and 2 doubles in the 6th inning because that the game was out of hand. They didn't need him in there. Are you joking? I mean, like this
Yes.
is a moment.
Yeah.
How could you pass on this moment? It drives me
I
nuts.
mean,
You
a
know,
moment can change a lifetime, and
it
like
could
I
change
can tell
a
you guys,
lifetime.
like
That's right.
I can tell you guys, like just from taking my niece to that World Series game, it was her third baseball game ever. She had just turned 6. We were wondering if we're gonna make it through it. Freddie hits that grand slam. She went from being like kind of interested in baseball to being it's her entire personality.
Yeah,
I mean, it changed and it like and of course I would love her no matter what. I don't wouldn't care if she was into stuff
of
I'm not
course,
into.
of course.
But like now we have something for the rest of our lives to bond over and
Yeah,
to remember. And baseball is like going with your it's like who you go with and who you're there with and who you experience those moments with. And it deepens your friendships and your connection to family and all that. And that moment is just priceless. It's there's no
it's
amount of money I
that's
could give
right.
Freddie. There's no amount of money I could give Freddie Freeman for what he did to create deep bonding between me and my niece.
Priceless is the word. And this idea of running an organization out of fear
Yes.
is look, yes, if Roki or Yamamoto or I mean, heaven forbid, Shohei would get hurt in the WBC, that would be a terrible tragedy, right? For all of us in baseball. That doesn't mean it's the wrong thing. I'm
Oh,
sorry. You
it
cannot run something based on, oh, they might get hurt. You'll never play them at all. Just
yes.
put them in bubble wrap and never put them out on the field. I mean, obviously anybody can get hurt at any time, but the WBC, if it is going to be the awesome thing that it has been in many ways and can get better, the best players should play in it, and the teams should not stand in the way of what is awesome for fans. But they do all the time.
One of the reasons I mean, remember last time the Dodgers wouldn't let or some I'm trying to remember this. Clayton Kershaw wasn't allowed to do
Right?
it.
Clayton Kershaw was not allowed to pitch.
What
And
are
it's
we
like,
doing? It's
what?
2023. Why?
Why?
And there were so many American if you guys remember, they're like they couldn't Team USA was having a hard time getting top pitchers
Yes.
because
Yes.
teams were like, and then Japan had all their guys, and it was like, oh, and then I think people saw how big it was, and they were regretting
Yes.
saying no or whatever. And so another thing is too, like Japan sends us their best players, right? Like we should be kissing their butts and being like, thank you, and not saying, oh, we're not letting your guys play for your country. I mean,
Well,
that
and by
sucks.
the way, it is a real easy way to tick off all of Japan,
Thank
right?
you. Thank
Yeah, I mean,
you.
are you kidding? So anyway, that 100%.
I'm sorry, Grace. I think
Grace,
I
I know
know,
you feel the same way. We're with
Grace.
you
We
on
know
this.
you feel that way. It's
All right.
awful.
Joe wants to know, this is very specific to me, but I do want to get this out there. They want to know if Canadians can get into the pre-book lottery for our new book, Big Fan, that Mike and I wrote that is coming out May 19th. We are having a special, it's a lottery. Everybody's a winner in it. So it's not really a lottery, but it is a special deal where if you pre-order the book from Joseph Beth Books, it's josephbeth.com, I believe, or maybe josephbethbooks.com. You'll find it. If you pre-order the book, you will get a signed copy from Mike and I, but we are also doing special inscriptions where we are doing like Mike is going to get some celebrities to sign them. I'm going to try to get a few athletes to sign them. We're going to do special back and forth things, like Mike has created a special little series um, that where it basically the Joe names 3 Tampa Bay Rays series. Like that's literally the whole thing. So we're gonna have all kinds of fun stuff like that that you will be entered. You might get one of those books. Like that is the idea.
Awesome.
Alas, that particular deal is not available in Canada because I
Boo.
know Joseph Beth Books does not deal with Canada. However, because Mike and I feverishly complained because we love our Canadian fans, Indigo Books has stepped in, so you can get a pre-order of us signing. You can get a pre-signed book if you pre-order from Indigo, which is awesome.
Awesome.
Unfortunately, you can't be in this particular lottery. However, if you come see us on the road, we'll sign your book any way you want. Like we'll give you,
You
we'll do something special for
you
you. I wish we could. I wish it was all one thing, but it's not. But we did want our Canadian fans to get the opportunity for a pre-signed book, so you can through Indigo. And you also, by the way, there are other places you can get pre-signed books. You can find those on my website. All right, time for one last meaningless thing to end this meaningless thing. And I will start to give Molly an opportunity to think of hers. Um, I don't understand why the Grinch is having a moment right now. I do not I'm not opposed to it. I love the Grinch, but I don't know why the Grinch is everywhere all of a sudden. That feels like a this year thing. Am I
And I
right?
have personal anecdote in this. My nephew who just turned 3 is obsessed with the Grinch and wants
Obsessed
to
with the
watch the
Grinch.
Grinch movies every day. And I was just with him this weekend, and he was in his Grinch pajamas.
Yeah.
So yes, the Grinch is having a moment.
Yeah.
I
Walmart
think, and I
Walmart
had
is
to
doing
kind
a
of,
Grinch thing. Is that
yeah,
right?
there's so
Yeah.
many Grinch. I see so many Grinch holiday displays.
Yes.
You know,
Everybody at a football
so
game now is dressed like the Grinch.
yeah,
I don't get
so
I'm the Grinch has been around forever.
yeah,
I don't know why specifically right now the Grinch
yeah.
is having is I'm
I,
not opposed to it. I'm for it. I love the Grinch. It's great. I just don't get it. I don't know why this is it just feels like suddenly they'd be like, you know what? Doris Day is back. Like, I don't understand why the Grinch is having
She
this
never
moment.
left. Yeah. No,
No,
I had to kind of interrogate myself with that too, because he is like a bad guy or like a
sort
whatever.
of, but he gets
Sort
good at
of.
the end. Yeah.
That's the thing, is he gets good. But my nephew just love. I go, you love. I'm
He
like,
likes
you
the
love it,
bad version,
but I'm
doesn't
like,
he?
you love the Grinch, or you love the story of, like, Cindy Lou Who and all the things. He loves all of it. I think,
Kids
and then
love it.
I realized, you know what, the Grinch actually is totally misunderstood.
Of course.
He's was an orphan and sad and left
Yeah.
out and
Very
all these
lonely.
things, and he didn't want to be reminded of Christmas. He didn't want to
Right.
see all the people and be reminded of how left out he felt. And then these people show him an extraordinary kindness,
Yes.
and I think you're right. The Grinch is really having a moment,
I
and
love
I
it. I mean, look, I think it's actually really pretty funny. I just don't know
yeah.
why it's happening. We did years ago, we took our daughters to Disney and we had a breakfast with the Grinch kind of thing. I think it was at Disney. Is that Disney or Universal? One or the
Uh,
other. It
I
might be
don't know.
Universal. I
Yeah.
can't even remember. But we had breakfast with the Grinch, and the Grinch was so mean to them, like so, and they loved it. They just loved it. The Grinch was like, "Ah, you guys are jerks," you know. I mean, it was just like so mean to them, and they loved it.
I
So, hey, that's awesome. But yeah,
I'm
he's everywhere now.
I'm glad you brought this up, because this will go into my kind of thing that
Yes.
I don't even know if I can say this without getting like crucified, but I'm sick. I'm glad that we're kind of taking the Grinch or other Christmas characters and elevating them to the forefront, because I am sick of Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You. I can't hear
Oh,
that song. And I love Mariah. Okay.
yes, yes.
I'm a lamb. I'm a member of her. I've been a member. I've been her fan since I was, 9 years, 8 years old. Okay.
Yep.
I love her. I love everything about her. She's the queen
Sure.
of Christmas. I think she's incredible. I'm sick of that song.
That
And I
song.
would rather
Yeah.
hear the Paul McCartney Christmas
No,
song.
no, don't say that. Don't. Come on.
Right now, as I sit here, on Tuesday, December 18th, 2025. I would rather hear the Paul McCartney song
Oh,
than the Mariah Carey song because I'm so sick of it. I can't.
it
It's the car. It's cars for kids right now for me.
it
I
is it
can't. I
is
can't.
everywhere. It is
But
unstoppable and everywhere. But as a song, it is
oh,
so
it's
much
so
just
good.
better than the McCartney or Last
Listen,
Christmas, which I've heard a lot of Last
I
Christmas
know, I
this
know.
year. That
It's
seems like
because,
that's a
it's
lot.
because everyone loves Mariah and George Michael. Like
Yeah,
everyone loves them.
and they should, and they
And
should.
everyone loves Paul McCartney too. I'm just saying it's gotten to the Cars for Kids jingle for me. We need some more Christmas songs.
We do
We need
well,
some old Christmas songs to be brought back, like Rocking Around the Christmas Tree. When that
yes.
people are like, okay, let's do that. Or The Grinch. Let's recycle. Let's pull from the archives, guys. Like let's like take a year off from All I Want for Christmas, and then it comes back with a vengeance in 2027.
Okay.
Like
I heard, by the way, I just want you to know, I heard maybe the most hilarious thing. So I was with uh my friend Taylor K. Phillips, who is a very, very funny comedy writer and comedian. She wrote the book How to Speak Midwestern, I believe is what it was called. It's great. It's she's awesome. She writes for John Oliver. She's amazing. Anyway, we're having dinner, and she was telling me the story that there's like it's not a Hallmark movie, but it's like a Hallmark like movie called Last Christmas, which
okay,
is literally about somebody giving like a heart transplant. So like
gave
the
your heart away.
they gave the heart away. They took it literally. They did a whole movie based on the literal version of the song Last Christmas, which I will never see that movie, I'm sure. That said, best idea I've ever heard. We
I
should
want
do every song, we should just do the most literal version of that song and turn it
yeah.
into a movie. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah. That
You
song's
gave
terrible. There's a
Last
lot of
Christmas,
reasons
I
why the
gave you my
lyrics
heart. Yeah,
the very
okay.
next day you gave it away. Like there's so many questions that remain unanswered. Maybe it really was a heart transplant. I mean, that
Yeah,
makes as much sense as anything else.
yeah.
What's that person doing on December 26th? What I mean,
I don't know. It's just
what?
every Christmas that
Yeah.
that heart is just bouncing around. It's just going from place to place. I think it's just recycling all over the place. All
Yeah.
right, Molly, we did it. We finished the podcast without Mike. This is great. Everybody,
Yeah.
look forward to our podcast that will be launching in
Enjoy
the new year.
baseball. Enjoy
Yeah, it's going to be so
baseball.
much fun. Molly, as always, thank you.
Thank you.